It's my pleasure to present to you the process of formulation of the National Food Security Strategy in Yemen. First of all, I must say that this was a joint effort between the government of Yemen, Ministry of Planning and International Cooperation, sector ministries, the EU, the GIZ, and of course, the role of IFPRI in this process was crucial. The National Food Security Strategy was finalized in 2010, but because of disturbances, it was revived only in 2013. The vision of the strategy is that all Yemeni people have access to sufficient and nutritious food at all times to live an active and healthy life, which means all people are food secure. The mission of the strategy is to realize food security through a decisive, comprehensive, and cross-cutting sector approach. The goals of the strategy, where the strategic objective against which strategy implementation will be judged, are goal number 1, cut severe food security. Goal number 2, reduce chronic child malnutrition. And to reach these goals, the strategy was based on 7 action plans. The 7 action plans were related first to the leverage of petroleum subsidy, second, better target public investments, third, improve the business environment climate to foster pro-food secure private investments, 4, combine cut reduction, 5, improve risk management and enforce competition among cereal importers, 6, implement the water sector strategy, 7th, launch high-level awareness campaigns. The policy reforms, as outlined in the 7-point action plan, will be important for achieving the objectives of the strategy and will greatly enhance the impact of investments. So the restructuring of social security from subsidies to investments is expected to impact high economic growth, lower poverty, and budget savings. The improvement of business climate, especially through access to credit, is expected to impact high private investments that create jobs. The consideration of reduction of consumption of qat will be expected to impact reduction in qat consumption. The creation of laws and regulations for improving the competitiveness of markets will be expected to impact lower food prices. The strengthening of institutions is expected to impact more efficient and effective service provision and investments. Now, if we look at the overview of the public spending in Yemen, we'll find that there is no balance between these investments and food security. And that's why the strategy document was a very good document, but it was theoretical. And there was a need to shift into an investment plan which will address this imbalance and support those sectors who are more engaged in food security, in poverty, like, for example, agriculture, fisheries, education, school, and other sectors related to the food security issue. In Yemen, most of the budget goes to fuel subsidy, to petroleum subsidy, which is creating imbalance in the overall budget of the government. Whereas agriculture, fisheries, and other sectors are receiving less in the overall budget of the government. Policy implications. Now, to implement the strategy, there are 2 major issues. The 7 points should be implemented, and Yemen can reach by the 2020 and 2025 food security goals. And policymakers also, as a prerequisite, should quickly move from setting goals to making the required policy reforms and designing the specific investment plans and programs to implement them. Implementation will require an appropriate institutional design and significant efforts to strengthen our capacity in all ministries. And successful implementation will demand decisive leadership and the commitment of all key ministries to collaborate toward making Yemen food security vision reality. Now, the investment priorities or the interference priorities are listed in the strategy and the workshop in the sector of trade and transport, health and nutrition, agriculture, water and fisheries, and target transfers and awareness campaigns. In each of these sectors, a list of priorities has been spelled out, and the priority interventions were also compiled in a workshop which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister in September 2013, involving representatives from all ministries, donors, NGOs, private sector. Now, after we spelled out the intervention priorities in this workshop, we have to move forward now to the investment program in food security. Another consultation workshop was carried out just 1 week ago to prepare the list of priority interventions in all sectors in the strategy. The priority investment plan was prepared in principle by the working groups in the workshop, which represent all stakeholders from different ministries, NGOs, private sector, and donors. Now, we have right now a list of priority development interventions, and we are supposed to work further now. So the way forward is going to be that MOBIC, which is the ministry involved in this process, will work closely with IFPRI to revive, to review, and streamline this project formulation in the workshop and come out with a list of projects that are sound, reflecting the needs in different sectors of the strategy. Now, these projects will be the core of the implementation plan of the strategy. To ensure ownership of these projects, the Secretariat is going to launch discussions with line ministries to discuss in details these projects and come out with a list of adopted or approved projects that are reflecting the needs and the requirements of the ministries in charge. These detailed discussions will ensure ownership of these projects by the ministries. At the same time, we are going to conduct a comprehensive database collection to list down all projects in food security carried out right now by different ministries, from different donor agencies, including the private sector, to make a comprehensive list of the data in the Secretariat about the ongoing projects, their budgets, their duration, their outputs, their outcomes, etc. When we create the database and we have the list of projects that are now suggested, we are going to come out to decide what are the investment gaps that we have in the country. These gaps will be submitted to the Council, Higher Council of Food Security in Yemen for approval, and they will then be marketed, discussed with donors for potential funding of these projects in the coming future. Thank you for your attention.